What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be trying a more daring video. As you probably tell from the title, I've got a manga haul again, but this time I chose four specific books from my overall haul that were more on the erotic or Guro side of things. And yeah, this is going to be tough. I really do want to showcase these stories as much as I can, but there will be times where I will have to censor things, where the book will just have to come out of frame for a bit, because I'll be checking, whether I can actually show any of the manga panels in the book. But who cares? We're just going to try and go for it today, because a couple of these books I'm I've never heard of in terms of like their mangaka as well. So we'll just start off with this one here. This is a manga slash art book that is titled The Shirayuri Ward, or the White Lily Ward, and this is written by Hayashi Teizo, who I've never heard of before. And as you can see from the cover, very cool cover actually. But when you open inside, you'll find that it's going to be pretty tough to showcase a lot of the stuff because it is very eroguro. So a lot of erotic things, but the main thing about this book is that the art is out of this world. So I haven't read this yet. I have no idea what to expect, but just from a flip through, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be crazy in terms of whatever story it is, all the artwork. You've got a collection of like realistic pieces, and I this was like one of the treasure chests that I pretty much opened. I had no idea about anything to do with this author. Picked it up on a whim. I looked at Google Images a bit, and it seemed like something I would like. So picked it up, and you get stuff like this. A lot of erotic content. It seems also like almost like super nonsensical as well. Not sure what is happening in any of these pages. Don't even know if there's a story for any of it, because it is mainly like illustrations. There's text around, but I'm not sure if there's an actual story attached to it. But pretty insane stuff. All right, so the next bookmark got to flip through because none of this stuff I can showcase. So let me just go ahead. This is really cool. What I like about this book as well is that the style of the art varies. There's a lot of variety in it. You know, what's on screen right now is very different to what was on screen like a minute ago. So this artist seems to have a good sense of style. A lot of different things he's doing with his pens. Weird monster creatures. Again, I do not know anything that is going on, but this is probably one of the coolest books that I picked up just because of how crazy some of the stuff is. Very different styles. It's amazing stuff. And towards the end, it's a lot more gory, so I can't really show too much, but just an example. Back. Got a nun there. This is crazy. But yeah, White Lily Ward by Hayashi Teizo. I'll put it down when it was published, but from my knowledge, that's the only book they've ever published. Couldn't really find any information on them right now. I think I'll have to dig a bit deeper. But yeah, this is a crazy book. I'm glad I bought this. But it's going to be an interesting time reading through this, getting through all of the very confronting and quite vivid uh, set of artworks in there. So, next one is probably the opposite. I feel like everyone knows who this is. This is Midori by Suehiro Maruo, or Shoujo Tsubaki, same thing, which was made into an anime as well, which is quite infamous, quite controversial. But I finally just picked up a copy after a while. I do have a lot of Maruo's art books, but not much of his manga yet, to be honest. But yeah, I don't think I need to explain too much about Tsubaki. It's just crazy, a troupe of crazy circus people. Extremely confronting. So, trigger warning if you don't like it. But at the same time, it is very beautiful with the way Maruo draws his characters, with the way he lays out his panels as well. It's crazy. It's like so much of this book is so detailed and unique, the way everything is like set out. The story itself is pretty good as well, but for me the main thing, and I feel like a lot of people, the main thing is the art. How grotesque it is, how in your face it is, but at the same time it's really creative with how it portrays different emotions. Like, for example, I have this one bookmarked. This is one of my favorite panels of all time from Maruo. It's Midori over here, stretched out in space, followed by a very gruesome scene, confronting scene. Just so much chaos in this book. Super. Oh, yeah. I don't know how to describe it properly. It's just insane. I think insanity is the best word. I'll flip through the rest of it. Like stuff like this. So creative. It's Midori and her lover. Feels very innovative as well. And another great set of double pages here. A giant Midori. I'll just zoom in. Oh. But yeah, if you haven't read Midori, I would recommend it. But if you're not really into the more grotesque stuff, then I would say the opposite and maybe stay away from it. But just for the aesthetic of the manga, just for how the art is drawn, how everything is laid out, I still think it's extremely worth it. Like, love the backgrounds, love the detail, the facial expressions. Can't get enough of Maruo. I do have all three of his Maruographs. One of them is signed actually, which I should probably showcase in another video. But that was Shoujo Tsubaki, otherwise known as Midori, by Suehiro Maruo, a very well-known master of the Ero Guro subgenre of manga. Okay, moving on to another book I have here. It is titled Lyrica, And this is by Keizo Miyanishi, which I have done, or I've showcased a lot of his books on the channel before, so his works are definitely not new to us, but still can't get enough of all of his artwork. So here, this tankobon is actually like it recollects some of the stories in his other tankobons. So some of these stories are actually you can find in some of his other works, and I do recognize as well. In the Golden Bride, this, for example, is a story in the Golden Bride, because this was published a bit later, I believe, 1994. This was also in Golden Bride. I'll have to censor that. I always love this panel. This panel is amazing every single time I see it. But Keizo Miyanishi, Guro, very, very, very erotic. But with all the books I'm showing here, I haven't read them yet. Well, besides Shoujo Tsubaki, actually. I haven't read them yet, but you'll be seeing them on the channel sometime in the future, of course, because if I really like a book, then I'll make a video on it, trying to recap it, give an overview of it, share it to the world, so other people can get into it too. That's why I love doing those, singular spotlight videos as well. Just so much that is undiscovered. And this one too was also in Golden Bride. But I'm gonna have to spend some time censoring a lot of this stuff in post because there's a ton to censor. So here are the stories in the back. You can see that some of these are from Golden Bride, some from Pipyu, some other Shonen Jidai, all of these are tankobons that he's had, so short story collections. But the cover itself is beautiful. It's like slightly textured with a shiny look to it, and the artwork on the cover is amazing. If you love like this very delicate, very graceful art within the world of Guro, take a look at Keizo Miyanishi. Okay, and last but not least, this tankobon here is also a new one to me. It is titled Thoughts on the End of Sexual History, which sounds like an insane title. And this is by a mangaka called Kazuhiko Miyaya, who I've never encountered before, never even heard of the name. But now I am obsessed because why? We open up the book, the very first page being this. Absolutely insane stuff. It's also the same sort of thing, Eroguro, erotic stories, but this one leans more towards, from the flip that I did, leans more towards the Guro side. A lot of crazy things happening in this tankobon. Like cannibalism, apparently. Love this panel. I want to zoom in. But yeah, Kazuhiko Miyaya. A name I've never heard before, and a name that I'm sad I didn't hear of sooner because his stuff is also hard to find. It's tough. Like, let me just zoom in here. This is all hand drawn. If I go further, it looks like kind of looks like a photograph, but zooming in, you can see all the lines, which is insane. It's just so insane. So again, another mangaka that I found with an insane art style, extremely detailed. Like the amount of time he must have put into the background here. You can see every single line. So another treasure chest that I've opened in terms of manga. But I'm really excited. I do want to read this as soon as I can. But we'll see how much time I have. Stuff like this. Out of this world. Don't know what is going on at all. I'm going to have to censor that right page. I did not see anything that was happening in that right page. Whoops. Hopefully YouTube doesn't kill me. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was... Oh, I gotta censor that too. That was the thoughts on the end of sexual history by Miyaya Kazuhiko. A crazy, crazy book. All of these books today have been crazy, and I've tried to be as give as much variety as possible. You know, you've got your well-known Maruo, but at the same time, you've got a little bit of a lesser-known Miyanishi, and these two completely new mangaka to me, Hayashi Teizo and Miyaya Kazuhiko. So I'm going to have to spend extra time after this video looking at everything, trying to censor things so that I don't get in trouble by YouTube. So I apologize in advance if the censoring does get a bit annoying, but I'll also try to leave as much as I can as well, limit test it a little bit. But yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this one. See you in the next video. Bye.